Today, we're going to be using Cursor to build an app without writing a single line of code, like normal. In the app that you're going to watch me build today, and you can follow along starting with the template that, as always, I put in the description, this app is surrounding RSS feeds and a new way to find really good content on the internet using AI. I'm very passionate about podcasts, and even though I have over 1 million followers on short form platforms, I don't ever have them downloaded on my phone because I think they destroy your brain. I don't get high on my own supply. And I want to find a new way to find gold mines, really good content creators, passionate content creators. And I think the best place for that is Twitter, first of all, greatest place to learn about AI. If you don't know that already, you're missing out. Podcasts and YouTube videos. And so we're starting out in this episode with podcasts, a new way to use AI to search through a ton of podcast content. And so I saw this guy, Peter Zakin. He tweeted this. He said, "I do believe there is a venture scale opportunity whose entry point product looks a lot like an RSS reader." And then there was Carmen, who I follow on Twitter, said, "RSS feeds are so underrated. There's a whole internet out there you won't find with search engines or social media." And a few nights ago, I read this and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try and build an app using RSS feeds. I want to use AI to search through this content. And I ended up building a tool that I'm pretty proud of. And then we have the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. And I can click on the Theo Vaughn episode. And now we can transcribe it. You know what? That's a funny part. Save to note. And we have this section right here. Now what we can say is, please fully describe the top 5 funniest parts of this episode. And we're going to use the new O3 model right here, and it is going to respond to us. And not only is it going to respond, but it's going to give us playable segments. The weighted blanket for dogs dilemma. So we can say, we can click on this.
Do they have a weighted blanket or not for him?
Here is going ham on stage.
I saw a video of Angus on stage the other night, like recently. He's like 7 years old.
From AC/DC.
Going ham.
Yeah. Who sings that?
How dare you? How dare you say who sings that?
And I created that without writing a single line of code, and it made me really realize how powerful these tools are. I don't know if it's going to shine through. I think it's going to be like a 30 to 40 minute video, and I was just blown away. There was like 3 moments while making this app where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe AI is getting this good at coding. And yeah, didn't write a single line of code. Still have never written a line of code. I also want to take this moment to say, for those of you who are on this ride with me and follow me on Twitter and YouTube recently, it's been so much fun. And so I'm going to keep doing this. I don't stop. I'm going to go until I can build whatever I want. I'm just going to keep going. I much love, I really appreciate those of you who've supported me, and let's just dive into the video. Without writing a single line of code, today I'm going to build an RSS-powered super app. We're going to use Cursor to generate the code. We're going to use Perplexity to learn about it. Please tell me what an RSS feed is, what type of content has them. RSS feeds is a web feed format that allows users to access updates to online content, standardized, automated way. Essentially enables users to subscribe to their favorite websites, blogs, content sources. Interesting. So we downloaded this app, NetNewsWire, and I found this other site right here. This Castos tool right here, and I could type in Tim Dillon, who is my favorite comedian. I can copy this link to the Tim Dillon show back to NetNewsWire, and we can paste in, we can go new feed, paste this in, add, finding feed, Tim Dillon show, all of the episodes right here. Some of them have the transcript, some of them do not have the transcript. And so the app we're going to build is going to get the transcript for all of them. So let's just focus only on podcasts to start out. I think we can clone this pretty quickly because I don't need a lot of these features actually. So here's what we're going to do. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up Cursor, and let's go ahead and run this. We're going to create a new folder and call this RSS app create. Select as repository destination. Would you like to open the clone repository? Open. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit Command I, and we're going to open up this app right here. We're going to screenshot it. We're going to open up Cursor, And what we're going to do here, please turn this template that we have so far into an app that looks like this. We are going to build out an RSS reader. For now, I want you to just build the shell of the app without pulling in any data. I want you to create a sidebar and then a view to the right of that, which has the name of each individual podcast, except make the background white. Like basically turn this to light mode and make this, please. And on the left side should be the name of the RSS feed, and then add a button at the top that allows me to add an RSS feed. We're going to add this feature in just a second. So we're going to make sure this is on agent mode. Ignore the Google Firebase stuff for now. We'll add that in later. And here it's doing some coding. I can full screen this. Okay. Can you please run this local host? Go ahead and accept it. Okay, so now we're going to open it up so we can actually see what we're doing here. Okay, now we're going to open up our app here. Let's go ahead and throw this on another desktop so we can go back and forth. Here we go. Here is our app. Title 1, Title 2, Title 3. Can you please add another panel for the description or for the content? When I click on a title, it should show the content there in Markdown. While that's loading, let's go to Perplexity and say, I created this custom Perplexity, custom spaces. It's called input output. And I basically, it says, you go in, you put it in this format, input, output, input, RSS feed, link. So this is input, output, and you don't need to include this. It's built into the system prompt. Output is going to be, and I have not used this with reasoning R1 yet. Output is going to be loads all podcasts and content from that podcast into my app, Next.js project. So we can run this. The system prompt is going to find APIs out there that we can use for this use case. That's what it's doing here, which is pretty cool. And here it is doing thinking. So we can actually see the model thinking, because it's a new R1 model. And here we go, to integrate a podcast RSS feed into your Next.js application. Okay, implement this solution. Okay. Do we need to pay for these? What is the best free option? You just said, give me all the example code I might need to implement. Okay, so we're gonna run this, and then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go back to cursor, and we're gonna accept this. Let's see how it did on this right here. Okay, so it added this in, Title 1, Title 2, Title 3, and it is in Markdown. That's good. Okay, so now what I wanna do here is I want to paste in this information. Okay, I want to now get rid of all the sample data. I like what you've done. Please allow me to import the recent 25 pieces of content from a feed when the user adds a link to a podcast or any RSS feed. I want you to pull all the titles and content and make it look good like it does now. Here are some docs. I hope this helps. Paste. Let's go ahead and run this. Let's see what happened here. So we can add a feed. We can add that Tim Dillon feed that we had earlier. So we can find a feed here. Let's copy this, and we can paste it here. Add feed. Invalid audio. Invalid RSS feed. Let's inspect this. We'll go to console. I pasted an RSS RSS feed link and I just pasted it into another app and it worked. So why is this not working? I believe Claude will get it on this attempt right here, even though it doesn't even look promising. We'll see. I've made the following changes. All right, let's go ahead and hit accept, and we're gonna hit add feed, paste the feed right here, and add feed. It said last week in AI. Oh my God, we did it. It works, literally works. Look at that. No way, okay, that's tight. All right, let's face that in. Okay, please format the content better here. I want this to look better. Please, look good, and all right. While that's loading, let's go ahead and figure out, we need to go back to input output. Let's start a new chat with our custom Perplexity prompt. So the input is going to be RSS feed post, like one post from an RSS feed, and I want back the full transcript of the podcast or the full audio of the podcast. Let's try it again. Okay, that worked. We can click on this one. Okay. These descriptions are not in the right format, but that's okay. Ah, there we go. Let's do it. Come on, son. That's what I'm talking about. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now here's how you create a next. Okay, so now we want to move to the next step. Actually, I think we could, let's go ahead and let's just do a little bit of cleanup on the formatting just so we don't go crazy. So let's just say, can you please add a heading to each column and make the height of each section the same? Align the header, it look good. Okay. It's still too blocky. There's too many blocks. Let's keep it simple for now. All of these are aligned. The all feeds tab doesn't work. We should actually fix that. The all feeds should show all episodes from all, organized by date. Okay, there we go. So we actually added our podcast in there, Last Week in AI, Joe Rogan, and all feeds. All right. So now what we need to do is we're going to apply this logic right here. So I asked, so here's how to create an Next.js app that processes podcast RSS feeds to display transcripts and audio files. This implementation will parse the RSS feeds looking for podcast namespace standard, extract audio files, retrieve transcripts when available, display audio player and transcript UI. Let's just see what this does. When I select an episode in the second column, in the third column, it loads the content. When the content there is loaded, as it already does, I want there to be a button there that allows me to pull the transcript and the audio file. So if I select it, I want it to load that and pull it and display it somewhere in that component without changing any other part of the web app as a whole. Just in that component, there should be a play button to listen to the audio, and then a button that says view transcript. And again, we're just doing this for testing. We can have it display within the content of our site. We need to paste in this info right here. Let me know if I need an API key for any of this. Okay. I beta following. Okay, only when the transcript is available. What the hell? Is this it?
Joe Rogan podcast, check it out.
Wow.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
What the hell?
Train my day, Joe Rogan.
Oh my god, this was just too easy. Okay, Last Week in AI.
They used 2 NVIDIA GPU.
Are you kidding me? What the hell? Right now, people who can't code are using Oh my God. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to make this, I want you to put a button to the right of the audio player where you're displaying that. And that should be a one-click button that takes this audio transcript somehow and sends it to an API to transcribe it in proper format. And I'm going to give you an API to do that. Fastest and cheapest multi-hour audio to text. DeepGram for transcribing multi-hour podcasts, Whisper API, and DeepGram. All right, let's use this. Let's just use this. Is there one that time-stamped transcript? Okay, we are going to be using DeepGram. So we are running the prompt here, and we'll see how it does. All right, let's see how it did here. So we're going to go ahead and accept this. All right, so as you can see here, we have this transcribe button. We got an error on the transcription. We're just going to copy this whole error. Okay. All right, so we got to do this again here. Let's see, add feed. All right, so now this like full length. I don't like that. Is it loading? Is it loading? Is it working? I don't see any immediate failure. I guess we'll just wait and see if it's working. I don't think it's working, guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. If I play it back here and it follows along in one single prompt, I asked for the timestamped version. I swear, if this follows along, this is gonna be crazy. Oh my God. Hello and welcome. Okay, no way, it's not moving. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Last Week in AI podcast, where you can hear us chat about what's going on with AI. And not as usual, in this episode, we will not summarize or discuss some of last week's most interesting AI news. Instead,
so please make the transcript button or some indication that it's loading the transcript. Put a nice little animation in the area where the transcript is going to be. What else has that? Let's give this a try. Transcribe. All right. I don't hate it. I don't like the spinny circle though. The transcribe button black. And make rounded, like horizontal movement through the whole, like horizontal back and forth. Keep the area the same size as it is now. It's just the spinny circle I don't like. All right, let's see how this works. Transcribe. I like that a little bit more. We could work on it, make it a little smoother, but you know what? It's fine. All right, so now
of Bobson to be aware of AI concepts and AI tools, which I suppose if you're an entrepreneur, you certainly want to be on the cutting edge of.
Next, what we want to have happen is I want to be able to, now what I want you to do is I want you to take about 4 paragraph chunks. You determine the range here, and I'll explain the range in a second. And I want these to be cards. So I want to view these as cards. So when I first start playing it, it should start on like card 1, and then it should almost be like pages. And then you swipe to go to the next page, to the next page, to the next page, and create a little animation for that. And so figure out how to do that. And then obviously the playhead should stay on the active word that's being said in the audio file. When it moves to the next range, then it should go to the next page and it should continue that process. All right, let's give this a test here. We need to add the feedback again because we haven't had the database yet. Okay, let's go ahead and transcribe this. So this looks the same. Wow, no way. Okay, I want these to be a little bit longer, but let's see what happens here.
Lens of.
And not as usual, in this episode, we will not summarize or discuss some of last week's most interesting AI news. Instead, this is our long-promised episode on hardware. We'll get into a lot of detail, basically do a deep dive unrelated to any AI news, but I guess related to the general trends we've seen this past year.
No way!
Yeah, I'm
it
Jeremy
just
Harris. I'm
works!
the co-founder of Gladstone AI.
It just works. That's insane. That is insane that it just works, dude.
An AI national security company. And
Okay. For the active word, I don't want it to be yellow. I want it to be black with white text. And I want the edges, or I want the highlight to be rounded. And what you did was good. I want the sections to be a little bit longer, actually.
Swix, hi. I am also co-host of the In Space, and I also run the AI Engineer Summit that's coming up in New York in February. Because we do interviews, that's a
Border around it, make it a little shorter, so less white space below the text in card. I just want to make this look better. It just feels a little bit off. Where's the black border? Okay, I'm starting to like this. Put this part in between the next and previous and make the next and previous buttons icons that point left and right, please.
So they had that early example learning algorithm AI chip. And so throughout the 2010s,
So I want to select on a word, and since it should know exactly where in the transcript to take me to get to that part. Okay, let's check this out.
refer to your notes all the time. So it's very special to be
That's
contributing.
fire.
week and enjoy our generated outro song. Week to week and enjoy our AI generated outro song.
So we can just click.
That, well, first I'm getting money for access.
Okay, I want the selection to be command or control click to do this, because later I want to add the ability to add highlights. Oh yeah, because it's still like swipes. We want to get rid of all swiping functionality. Okay, all right, let's test this out. So we're clicking. Okay, so now we're just kind of like clicking and, ooh, I like this. I wish I could. Okay, I like this actually. And now we're gonna do control click.
Yep.
Now stories as you chat to them. So another example of that data war and that almost search war going on as well, or I don't know if it's a war, but everyone is trying to get you to use their chat to see about stuff that's going on right now. And
So I want to be able to highlight, right? So I want to be able to highlight, and I want to get rid of that swipe functionality. So I want to be able to highlight it, and when I highlight a section, I want to be able to press a button that pops up above the selection, save as note, and this will save it below the card portion in a list of notes that I can save, and I can at any time export those notes as a text file. All right, so I really hope this works. Okay, so at reset, we gotta add in podcast again, add feed. We'll click on this one, we will transcribe it, and cool, okay. So we are gonna go like this, okay. Nice, it works. Where it has the note, can you not have it have like a little gray background? I don't like those little gray components, they're ugly. And add the notes so that they're in ascending order. So start with the first, like the note The most recent note should be at the bottom of the list. And then above each little section that's highlighted, I want a little play button. When I press that play button, I want it to go to that part in the active audio file. I want it to go to that one and basically play it above. Just play the audio of the full transcript from that point.
To write AI programs. And then there were custom machines called list machines.
Okay, got rid of that white space. It should be adding a play button anytime now. Where's the play button? Maybe we need to load a new one. Let's go ahead and let's restart the server. Paste it in. Let's go down to a different one. Google Chatbots, transcribe.
To the new model.
Okay, let's see. Google AI Studio and the API. The goal here obviously is to make sure is Fusion. Okay, cool. All right, let's save this as a note. And now we have this little play button.
OpenAI do this for the most part.
Was it off by like a little bit? What happens if we go like this?
OpenAI do this for the most part. OpenAI do this for the most part. OpenAI do this for the most part. And
unless these options are forced upon them or presented kind of in a more aggressive way by a company like Google, it's integrating everything.
It wasn't quite exact. It seemed to be off by like a page. I'm not sure why this is happening, but I want it to just like whatever the first word was, it should play from there in the transcript as if I'm doing the control click on that word. Because this still works. I can still hit control click.
GPT store become this ubiquitous feature of it will at some point perhaps, or some variant of it, I'm sure will be integrated. But this is, we'll see. I think distribution will probably be a much like Google. It's integrating everything.
Right. And I'm reminded, I didn't mention this initially, but Meta also rolled out something similar we covered a couple of weeks ago for Instagram.
Let's go ahead and transcribe this. So we're going to test this out. Okay, let's give this a try. So we'll get into a lot of detail. Let's highlight this part right here, save as note. Now, even if we're on page 88, we should be able to hit play and it should go back to this part.
We'll get into a lot of detail, basically do a deep dive, unrelated to any AI news, but I guess related to the general trends we've seen this past year with a lot of developments in hardware. And
let's test it again, add to note here.
So, the work that we do is focused on the kind of WMD level risks that come from advanced AI, current and increasingly future systems.
Right, now let's add an AI chat. And so we're going to add an AI chat. I want to add a pop-up AI chat at the bottom right of the page. And I want to be able to toggle on chat at the bottom left of the page. And then the chat should replace the two panels on the right. So I should be able to toggle back and forth between the chat view, which shows the chat and the main content, and then I should be able to exit out of that and have it return to a little pop-up on the bottom left and see the lists, the two lists that are there. So this only thing that's changing is the ability to open up this chat window and add the ability for me to type into it and enter in, but don't add any of the other functionality. We'll do that after we get the formatting correct. Okay, yeah, we might need to start a new chat soon. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Nice, all right, so we have the little panel. This is pretty freaking clean, not gonna lie. Make the chat header light purple with bold text in header, and then slightly darker shade of gray for the body. Make the input field more open. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on the formatting here. Just a lot of white going on. Don't have a border around the chat area. Please make it just in the area. All right, we're gonna standardize this. This looks quite bad, actually. All right, we're almost there. We're just making one more change to the formatting. All right, so I think it works. So we can just type it out. It expands out. That looks pretty good. Okay, now I want to be able to chat with AI about the active transcript that I'm looking at. So you know how there's cards, right? I want to be able to chat with the active transcript and ask questions about it and make the prompt so that it's a helpful assistant helping me summarize and find interesting concepts and ideas about the podcast. And so that's what I want to have happen. And you should have in the prompt that it should have direct quotes in its response. So its responses should be formatted in Markdown. And it should have little components that cite its sources, but it should show the entire quotes. Make the quotes no more than 2 lines long, but it should have a play button next to it that allows me to play it, and it plays that part of the active transcript. We are going to be using OpenAI's new O3 model. The model is called O3 Mini. I think that's what it's called. We need to see models, and we're going to type in O-Mini. We're going to use O3 Mini. All right, so that was a very long prompt, or at least really hard prompt. Hi, what is this about? And I'm getting an error. We're getting this 500 error right here. Let's go ahead and paste this. There was no response. Also, I put the key. Oh, invalid message. Expect a string with a maximum length of. Okay, so it's too long. Can you please put the max length to the maximum? And let's just say, let's just do 90,000 tokens, please. And let's start with Software Composer podcast. Nice. These are shorter too. Let's transcribe it. We'll use shorter podcasts to test this out. Let's open up the chat. Let's say, give me the 5 quotes that best represents the episode's theme. Let's see. I anticipate that it's going to get the text right. It's just going to get like the text response right, but the formatting of the little play things, the quotes, I don't think it'll get it. I don't know if it's working. We don't have it set. I haven't told it to stream it, so it's going to give us it all at once. Oh, it is streaming. Oh, it is working. No way. If this works, I'm quitting. I'm jumping off the roof if this works. Like, it's over. This is crazy, dude. No way this works. You can rely on natural language, speaking to AI to write all of the code, do follow-up prompts. And then now I can just, if I think it's important, I can save it as a note right here. In just an hour and a half, I created this app that lets me subscribe to any RSS feed. Here's my podcast, the Software Composer Podcast, 2 episodes out. And then we have the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. And I can click on the Theo Vaughn episode. And now we can transcribe it. While it's transcribing, let's go ahead and open up the new OpenAI model here. And this is actually not just going to be a transcript. We have 114 of these little pages. We can hit play.
Mix. It's nice.
I like hydration, though.
That's Rob Wolf's company, right? I believe so.
Why is there so much hydration now?
So we can select this. You know what? That's a funny part. Save to note. And we have this section right here.
He would put guys away by breaking them down. He would break their will. And
so we can go like that. But the kicker, to speak in ChatGPT language, we can also export these. But the kicker here is we can press this chat button. Now what we can say is, please fully describe the top 5 funniest parts of this episode. And we're going to use the new O3 model right here, and it is going to respond to us. And not only is it going to respond, but it's going to give us playable segments. The weighted blanket for dogs dilemma. In another unexpected term, the discussion veers into a bizarre scenario using the weighted blanket's normally therapeutic tool to calm dogs. The host ponders whether such an approach, and then so we can click on this right here.
Get him a weighted, do they have a weighted blanket or not for him?
Here is going ham on stage.
I saw a video of Angus on stage the other night, like recently. He's like 7 years old.
From AC/DC.
Going ham. Yeah. old fucking dude, white hair.
Who sings that?
How dare you? How dare you say who sings that?
No, who's
Angus Young. No,
AC.
Angus Young is the guitarist, right?
And I created that without writing a single line of code, and I will show you the whole video right here.